As Election Day winds down, we have results across mid-Missouri.
Plus, a woman's week-long protest of a new trail construction ends with her arrest.
And it's called Aspire Mo, a program that offers endless possibilities upon an inmate's release. KOMU 8 News at 10 starts now.
Coverage you can count on. KOMU 8 News starts now.
As Election Day winds down, we have team coverage for elections all across mid-Missouri. But first, a woman was arrested today after more than a week of protesting in a tree. Good evening, everyone. I'm Emily Spain.
And I'm Jim Rick. Thanks for joining us. Boone County deputies arrested Sutu Forte. She climbed a tree which is in the path of a new hiking and biking trail. KOMU 8 Zola Crowder is here in the studio with a 25-year timeline of how and why this trail project began.
Yes, in this map from the Missourian, you can see where the trail's planning to cut through. It would basically connect the MU campus to the Stevens Lake Park. The idea for this project goes back to 1994 when the idea was first introduced. Because of funding, it was put on the back burner for several years. But in 2013, the project finally started. 6 years ago, the trail project was added to the Get About project with federal funding. In January 2015, parties interested in building the trail had their first meeting. The first public hearing started in March 2015, where people were able to speak out for the first time. Almost 3 years later, there was the next public hearing. We spoke to Sutu Forte back then.
Connectivity exists already. It's a big waste of money, and it's such a destruction of a beautiful ecosystem.
The parks director said the trail was important.
So this is a really critical gap. This is one of the last big gaps that are located what I call in the heart of the city.
In July 2018, the nonprofit It's Our Wild Nature bought the 37.1-acre land tract where the trail construction was planned to begin. Sutu Forte is a co-chair of the group. Last December, the city claimed eminent domain, where the government can convert private property for public use. A judge sided with the city this January. Construction started in the middle of March, and this brings us to last week when Sutu Forte began her protest.
I made a promise to this forest. This forest is my heaven.
As construction neared trees that belong to It's Our Wild Nature. Today, deputies arrested her and gave her a citation. Now the next step for the city is installing construction fencing for the trail. We collaborated with the Columbia Missourian and put together an interactive timeline. That's on KOMU.com. In the studio, Zola Crowder, KOMU 8 News.
Here's what's happening right now. About 20 minutes ago, Missouri State Highway Patrol reported a deputy-involved shooting in Pettis County. According to sheriff's deputies in Pettis County, they're on the scene of an officer-involved shooting in rural northwest Pettis County. They were called in to a disturbance at a residence, and shots were reportedly fired at them on arrival. Officers returned fire and struck a resident who has died of injuries sustained. Again, this is according to the Pettis County Sheriff's Office. They've requested assistance from State Highway Patrol. We have reporters on the way to the scene, and we'll keep you informed as we learn more.
Turning to our Smart Decision coverage, it is Election Day. A reminder, the results are at the bottom of your screen.
First, we turn to Callaway County, where voters decided on a pair of half-cent sales taxes to improve police facilities and salaries. Prop 1 would help pay for the construction and operation of new facilities and improve law enforcement pay, with all precincts reporting it's a yes, with 72% yes and 28% no.
Also in Callaway County, Proposition 2, it also passed, but by a smaller margin, 61 to 39%.
For more on what this tax hike means for the area, we're going to start our live Smart Decision coverage with KOMU 8's Caroline Dade in Fulton with the latest. Caroline?
I'm live at the Callaway County Courthouse, where we heard from the county clerk, about an hour and a half ago with those official results. And today the voters of Callaway County approved two different half-cent sales tax measures. More than 70% of voters approved that first measure and another 60% approved the other. Today, voters decided they want the county to have more money to do things like hire more deputies, raise law enforcement salaries, and expand the Justice Center. County officials also have plans to expand the county jail. I spoke with the Callaway County Sheriff and the presiding commissioner, who told me the process to get to today's vote wasn't easy, but it's a big win for the people of Callaway County.
It is not the easiest decision in the world. However, we knew that this community had some serious criminal justice needs.
Since both measures passed, that means that anyone who buys something in Callaway County will now pay about a penny more for each dollar they spend. Now, there is no set date yet for when collection will begin, but the county commissioner told me he expects it to be sometime around April 1st. Live in Fulton, Caroline Dade, KOMU 8 News.
Turning now to Camden, Miller, and Morgan counties, voters decided on a lodging tax that would help pay for a lake area soccer complex. Here's a look at how Camden County voted. With 100% precincts reporting, it's a no at 73% no. And also in Miller County, same thing, also no at 72%. And finally, Morgan, another no with 84% no, 16% yes.
Continuing our team coverage is KOMU 8's Skylar Webb. She is live at the Lake of the Ozarks with reaction from an overwhelming defeat.
I'm live outside of Baxter's Lakeside Grill, just off of Bagnell Dam Boulevard here in Lake Ozark, where earlier tonight, before the restaurant behind me closed, there was a large group gathered inside awaiting election results for a proposed soccer complex, the only thing that was seen on the ballot today. The results that came in show the soccer complex did not pass in any of the 3 counties it needed. The ballot issue determined whether or not lodging tax would rise from 3% to 6% in Camden, Miller, and Morgan counties, in hopes that more tourism would be brought to the lake in the off-season. KOMU 8 spoke to lodge owners prior to the vote when we first brought you this story 2 weeks ago. They said they had no confidence that the complex would benefit lodging across the lake and that the tax would turn away returning customers. Tim Jacobson, Executive Director of the Convention and Visitor Bureau, addressed where the community plans to go from here post-vote.
I'm not sure that this evening that is a reflection of what the business community wants to happen at Lake of the Ozarks, as opposed to what the residents have been informed through propaganda to conclude what happened this evening in the vote.
The complex's website says that it was to host 12 to 14 tournaments, that's 50 to 300 teams each weekend, and bring in an estimated $75 million economic impact to the lake area. Live in Lake Ozark, Skylar Webb, KOMU 8 News.
Finally, to the only issue for voters in Boone County. Hallsville voters decided on privatizing the town's sewage system to pay for a much-needed upgrade. Results there on your screen. 68% said yes. And again, all of those results are on the bottom of your screen, and they're also online at KOMU.com.
Temperatures cooling into the 40s this evening, 43 in Columbia, most of us in these middle to lower 40s, still 45 over in Herman right now. And we have a little bit of cloud cover starting to roll in. It is here in northern Missouri, but we're waiting on another system to move in from southern Missouri by sunrise tomorrow. And then we're looking at cloud cover increasing during the morning. A few brief showers and sprinkles possible too, especially in the morning hours south of Interstate 70. And then we all do have a bit of a chance as you head into the evening, but mainly dry during the daytime, but it's also mainly overcast too. So again, in the evening hours, a few brief showers or sprinkles a possibility. Then as temperatures cool down right around before sunrise on Thursday morning, temperatures are cold enough we could eventually see maybe a little bit of sleet coming down or some flurries. It's really not going to do much for us, though. I think we're mainly going to be dry, and then we're going to see the sunshine come back out for your day on Friday. Checking everything, including a big cool down. Coldest temperatures we've had yet coming up.
Okay, thanks, Kenton. The custody battle for the child of missing Columbia woman Mungshee G. Elledge and alleged child abuser Joseph Elledge continued today. The attorney for Mungshee G's parents said there was a no contact order put in place today for the child against the child's father, Joseph. Mungshee G's parents say they are a better fit to take care of the daughter than Joseph's mother, Jean Elledge. Their attorney also says her clients feel more relieved after today's hearing, which lasted more than 5 hours. Tomorrow, the people involved in the custody case will meet again for Joseph's bond hearing. Mungshee G's parents say they hope he is not released on bond.
A Jefferson City driver was arrested today after a man was killed while riding his bicycle. Prosecutors charged Haley Crabtree with leaving the scene of a crash. It happened last night at the Clark Avenue exit. Officers say the cyclist Eric Crowder was dead at the scene. Police later found Crabtree's car stopped and damaged. That's when the arrest was made.
The Department of Corrections says a couple years ago, Missouri was putting more women behind bars faster than any other state.
The problem begged for a solution, and now the first class is about to graduate. KOMU 8's Megan Judy shows us an entrepreneurial program inside the prison walls that's a first of its kind.
20 incarcerated women participate in Aspire Mo, a program at the Women's Correctional Center in Vandalia that teaches them how to start their own business. They learn interview skills, personal branding, and how to figure out their strengths. Aspire Mo aims to inspire these women to better their lives and hopefully, when they leave prison, never come back.
The program is just amazing. It's giving us an opportunity and a chance to realize that our past doesn't define our future, and that's everything.
The women in Aspire Mo are in for a range of offenses, from credit card theft to drug charges to armed criminal action. But the women in Aspire Mo are more than their crimes.
Well, being in Aspire, it was nice because for a while there, I feel like as an educator, my career has stopped because they take your teaching certificate, so you feel like you can't stay in the profession that you work so hard to get into. But with Aspire, I can become my own boss and start a tutoring business, and so that's what they're allowing me to do.
Kellyanne Coates and Ken Chapman came up with the idea for the program.
When you have the largest increase in women offender population from 2010 to 2015, you really know something's not right. When 33% of that population goes up and the rest of the nation goes up minuscule compared to that, you have an issue. They're just human beings, and they're just trying to do their time, and they're trying to, I really believe, equip themselves to be better. It's our job to rehabilitate them. It's our job to help them find a place.
That place is right here, once a week, in this visitor's room turned classroom where they can learn business and life skills.
And they are assigned a life coach that helps them with a home plan, a health plan, a work plan, a spiritual plan, and that's been invaluable.
Jessie Yankee teaches the business portion of the class and says once you're in the program, you're in the family.
We get very close with them. As we mentioned earlier, one of our girls was released today, and it's just a village of people getting her to that next step, and they need that. They need the support. A lot of our girls, maybe don't have the family support, or maybe shouldn't go back to where they came from, and we kind of act as that for them, and we do care so much about them.
The program costs between $25,000 and $30,000 a year to run, a mix of private donations and some federal funding. But the workload is so great, Coates and Yankee say they need to hire a full-time staffer, which means more money. Every woman we spoke to said Aspire Mo has helped her understand her value.
So do you have a little fear of getting out?
I used to, but that is a big reason this has been so good for me, because it's kind of like taking that fear away.
This current class will graduate in December, and the next class begins in January.
When they get up and they graduate and you just see the light in their eyes and the sparkle and the smiles on their face, it's just like, I wish we could do this for more. I wish there were more women that could come in here and go through this and see this.
Megan Judy, KOMU 8 News, Vandalia.
Aspire Mo is a partnership between the Missouri Women's Business Center, the Department of Corrections, and the Department of Economic Development. Coming up, there's something new under the golden arches, and it violates company policy.
Plus, TikTok, it's not a cuckoo clock, but a Missouri politician says you need to know what it is.
Your flight forecast for the day tomorrow, no delays, but a few thunderstorms possible in Dallas, 70 degrees there, right around 60 there in Kansas City, and for us in mid-Missouri too. I'm tracking everything you should know though, including a deep freeze coming up.
A key figure in the impeachment inquiry against President Trump reversed himself in new testimony released today. Gordon Sondland, the U.S. ambassador to the European Union, now says there was a quid pro quo in Ukraine. He says he told a Ukrainian leader that U.S. military aid would likely stop until the country publicly announced corruption. Investigators that would help President Trump politically. House Democrats say the new testimony means impeachment.
Well, this is what the sky looks like at 6:15 this morning over the Missouri River at Rocheport there at Les Bourgeois Vineyards. A beautiful sunrise on our weather cam time lapse today. Then a lot of sunshine, just a few clouds by the end of the day as our next system starts to move in. But a beautiful sunset. A lot of folks sent in those pictures because of where those clouds were, that cloud deck. The sun actually kind of showing that really on the downside, on the bottoms of those clouds. So a beautiful look there at another great sunset here in mid-Missouri. Now temperatures around 43 degrees here right now in mid-Missouri. Now so far in November we have of course been a little chilly. We've been below average the most of this month. You can see 63 on Sunday and 53 yesterday got us at least some seasonal temperatures, but because of our low temperature this morning, today actually ended up being a below average day, and I'm expecting these below average temperatures to continue as we head through much of next week and into the middle of this month. So get ready. Again, a deep freeze moving in, and I can say deep freeze because I'm talking about a high temperature near freezing, meaning most of our temperatures all day and all night are below freezing. That is the first deep freeze of the season, and you can see as you look through November 13th through November 19th, about 8 to 14 days away from now, we are a good 70% chance that we remain in that below seasonal temperature. And that's actually going to be temperatures that are colder than the coldest that our temperatures get on average every late December, early January, the coldest part of the year. The temperatures that I'm expecting starting early next week are colder than the coldest parts on average of winter. So again, winter's here. We're feeling like late December, early January at least, if not worse than that. You can see we have high pressure that's pushing off towards the Ohio River Valley. For us to our north, we have a warm front that is going to help to keep us warm tomorrow especially. Now temperatures as you head towards sunrise still down into the upper 30s and lower 40s, but then by noon we're in the 50s here. We have clouds increasing from the south, some showers also possible south of Interstate 70 and some sprinkles elsewhere. As the day goes on, clouds will continue to increase to the north too. And then we're looking at a brief chance for a shower or a sprinkle in the evening and overnight hours on Wednesday night into Thursday morning. Temperatures cooling close to freezing though on Thursday morning, but I'm not expecting much in the way of precipitation to come down while it's freezing. So maybe a spare flake, maybe a bit of sleet, but again, I'm not expecting any issues with this on Thursday morning, so nothing to worry about there. And then on the afternoon, we are abundantly sunny on Thursday. On Friday, a few more clouds passing through, and it is going to remain cold on Friday. High temperatures just in the upper 30s both days, lows in the 20s there. Then this weekend, we're back into the 50s, a nice warm up with some passing clouds. And then on Sunday, as clouds continue to increase and temperatures remain likely highs in the 50s there, we're waiting on this big deep freeze, which is just going to be getting out of Canada on Sunday. It is here on Monday, and that is going to be the coldest temperatures we've had so far this season since last winter for sure. 39 degrees for our low temperature tonight. South winds about 5 to 15 miles per hour. Then tomorrow we're at 57 degrees with south winds 5 to 15. So light breeze, but otherwise enjoy these warm temperatures. We're not going to have too many more of them for the next couple weeks. We're at 39 again, high temperature on Thursday and pretty much Friday too. Lows in the 20s there. Middle 50s on Saturday and Sunday, and enjoy that warmth too, even though it's below average for this time of year, because it's nothing compared to the well below average temperatures with highs around freezing starting on Monday for Veterans Day and lows in the teens, which is the first time we've been that cold since last winter too.
Okay, thanks, Kenton. A Missouri politician is skeptical of a social media platform, and the company's executives aren't listening.
And your lottery numbers, good luck.
Missouri Senator Josh Hawley has a message for parents. If you don't know what TikTok is, you should. The Missouri Republican shared advice during his lengthy critique of the Chinese-owned social media platform today. TikTok executives were supposed to appear before a congressional subcommittee to talk about the tech industry's relationship with China, but they never showed up.
Former McDonald's CEO Stephen Easterbrook is getting an exit package of nearly $42 million. This comes after his relationship with an employee was found to violate company policy. Easterbrook's departure comes as McDonald's faces claims of sexual harassment in the workplace, including alleged abuses that happen on his watch. Dozens of McDonald's workers have filed sexual harassment complaints, alleging everything from lewd comments and groping to retaliation.
Well, a hamstring injury sidelined Kelly Bryant against Georgia. We'll talk about that next in sports.